caregiver burnout is a huge problem for both for professionals, because it impacts the reputation of businesses. There's a huge cost and stress on the rest of the staff. And for family caregivers, burnout, it's a killer. The stress and the strife that is caused with people who are burned out is incredible. One of the factors of burnout is frustration. When I was a caregiver, I have to tell you, I thought frustration was my middle name. I was the caregiver for my mother for 8 years, and there were times when I was so exhausted and so frustrated, I just didn't know what to do. Have you ever been there? Where you're just overwhelmed, and it's relentless. The care, the challenges, you're exhausted, and you are frustrated because the problems that you solved yesterday are completely different today, and you have to be fast on your feet and try and resolve these problems.
Hi, my name is Kim Scott, and I'm a registered nurse manager, and I had the pleasure of meeting Breeda. I heard Breeda and her experience with taking care of her mom, and this conference focused on insight and innovation and integrity, and she was under insight. And what I got from Breeda was that sometimes, especially as caretakers, we can get so absorbed into kind of our feelings and how we respond to caring for others that we no longer hear from the people we're taking care of. And so what I got from Breeda was that once she took a moment and she stopped, she could really hear what her mom really needed. And it wasn't something that was super hard to do, but because of the emotion and the exhaustion, she just couldn't make the connection. And when she finally did, her mother, it's just like peace came over the whole situation. So sometimes we have to stop, take a deep breath, and really listen and hear what's needed. Thank you, Breeda.
One of the other big issues that lead to caregiver burnout is the feeling of isolation. I have to tell you, I was living in a house caring for my mom. I had a husband, 3 children, 2 dogs, and I have never felt so isolated in my entire life. Unlike when my kids were small, I would hang out with other mothers with their kids. I would go to play groups. I would go to preschool. We would talk about the challenges of parenting. But when you are a caregiver for a parent, there is no play group. There is no way to get together and trade notes and talk about ideas. And it can make you feel so alone and so frightened because you don't even know what is normal. The biggest challenge that I found were the surprises. So my mom became incontinent, and she had no idea. And I didn't want to embarrass her. One of my overriding goals was to maintain my mother's dignity. But I was also worried about my furniture. So I thought, how am I gonna handle this? She would come out of her bedroom with her walker. She was not very stable. And as she's walking into the living room, in my head, I'm hearing the theme song to Jaws. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm thinking, oh, Mom, how about the leather chair that has the towel on it? It's really comfy. And she would say, oh, no, thank you. I prefer the sofa. It's very comfortable. And she'd go over there.
Hi, my name's Jennifer Baker. I'm presently attending the Bay Area Communication Conference for Nurses. I'm an RN, and I've just had the pleasure of hearing Breeda Miller. And I think what Breeda has to tell us is that we need to take care of ourselves as caregivers, all of us, whether we are nurses or we're taking care of a parent at home, or we're a parent of a special needs child, or whatever the case might be. Her information goes to the heart of the matter of stepping back and taking that moment to take care of yourself.
I'm sitting down with Mom for a cup of tea and just very casually mention, hey, Mom, I learned something today. Did you know that studies have shown that people who wear disposable underwear have fewer falls? And she said, is that right? Why is that? And I said, well, because they're not in such a hurry to go to the bathroom, and if they have a leak, who cares? It's not a mess, it's not a problem. And she said, well, that sounds like a fine idea. Do you think we could get some of those? Oh, yeah. I was in the car on my way to the market. I don't even know that I closed the back door. I came home with a big shiny package of Depends that were size small, because she was very petite, and we cleared out her dresser of all the regular kind of underwear and filled it with these beautiful new disposable underwear. And we never had to talk about it again. So the thing is, when you are isolated, you think you have to solve all these problems that you don't even know where to begin. But if you can reach out to experts, to friends, to other people, if you can reach out and find this, you'll learn that you don't have to do it all by yourself. That there is a lot of support and a lot of help out there. And not to be shy, but to raise your hand, because the truth is, all of us are smarter than one of us. So one of the things I talk about, the caregiver sandwich, and you might be in the caregiver sandwich if your shopping cart really tells the truth. You've got Kotex, Depends, Clearasil, oil of Olay, pizza rolls, and prunes. Thank you so much, Shireen. That is beautiful. The caregiver sandwich, because the thing to remember, the essence of the sandwich is the filling, and you are the filling in the caregiver sandwich. The bread on either side represents your mother or your father or both, and the other side might be your kids or a demanding job. But the essence of the sandwich is the filling, which is you.
Hi, my name is Lynn Shivers, and I just finished hearing Breeda's talk. It was so amazing. A lot of the things that she said were so important to me right now. You know, she talked about, taking care of yourself and thinking about the experiences that we create as event planners, and oftentimes that we don't give ourselves the kind of care that we need because we're doing so much for everybody else. Breeda, this was just excellent. Your tips, your experiences, your stories all meant so much, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
When I think of all the work that my phone does every day, I recognize that I need to charge it every night, and I have to do that for it to function. Because if I don't charge it, what happens? It dies. It doesn't ask permission. And it doesn't just keep going, keep going, keep going. No, it just says, game over, I'm done. I don't think less of my cell phone because I need to recharge it every night. I just know I have to do that in order for it to function. And what I want to suggest to you is I think we give more respect to our devices than we do to ourselves. That when we know we need to recharge, we know we need to take a break, we know we need to find a way to regroup or to take care of ourselves, and yet we think, oh, that's so selfish, I just can't, I need to keep going. And we're just going to burn ourselves out, and we're not going to be good to anyone.
Hi, my name is Kathy Steiner, and we just had the lovely Breeda Miller give our keynote at our conference today. The ease of working with her, her communication style, and how she tailored her entire keynote to our conference was spot on. Just as soon as she was done, I had 6 or 8 people come up and say how wonderful her presentation was and how personal they all felt, and just truly loved her presentation. We couldn't thank her enough.
Hi, I'm Breeda Miller, and I have a passion in life. My mission is to help caregivers carry on, whether they are professional caregivers working in the senior care community or family caregivers who will end up being just caregiver by default. Maybe they're the only daughter. I was a family caregiver, and so I've learned from the 8 years that I spent caring for my mother, including the last 2 years when she was very, very frail. I just learned that I didn't know what I didn't know. And so my mission is to help other caregivers figure these things out, find the resources, find the ways, the support that they can get so that they can be the kind of caregiver that they want to be. And for organizations, I believe that the frontline caregiver is really the person who is really helping the patient, has the most hands-on contact, and has a relationship or the opportunity to have a relationship with the patient and with their families. But the turnover in frontline caregivers in the senior care world today is a crisis. And my programs can help alleviate some of that stress on caregivers, both professional and family.
I think Breeda's workshop was amazing. It made me step back and reevaluate how I'm going to approach different situations or feelings that I'm thinking about. My favorite quote for the day that I think Breeda needs to brand is it a fixable problem, or is it's not fixable, how is your mindset to approach it? The other one that I really, as a takeaway for me, is follow the breadcrumbs. So open to all opportunities. So I really had two big takeaways from today that I'm going to maybe change my mindset and work towards. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen Talick. I just had Breeda Miller as my keynote speaker. I think the big takeaway for me was the importance of self-care, and that it isn't actually a selfish act to care for yourself, and it's not only imperative but for yourself, but also for the people around you, the people that you live with, the people that you work with and for, and that it's okay, and you shouldn't feel bad about yourself for needing to take care of yourself.
What is hospice? A lifesaver is all I could say. Many people are afraid of the word hospice, and the word palliative care, they don't know what that means either. But I think everybody understands the term comfort care. And for me to be able to share the great respect and appreciation that I have for hospice workers and for the work that they do, but more importantly, to educate people so that they will embrace hospice services earlier, sooner rather than later. That's one of the most important things that I could ever hope to accomplish. So our youngest son, Evan, he's a character. And my mom called him a long drink of water because he, at 12 years of age, was 5'6". So Evan, one doctor said to me one time, you know, he kind of won the lottery of birth defects. You know, he had a cleft lip and palate, and he had plumbing issues, he had cognitive disabilities. But I have to tell you, he is the most charming, amazing kid and young man that I've ever met. Evan has a unique ability to just be really direct and get to the core of most issues. But he has no filter, which makes it really fun at family gatherings. He said to my daughter's boyfriend the other day, her boyfriend has a beard that she's not very fond of, and he says, you know, she could leave you. So at the end of her life, I wasn't really surprised that she would say that she felt she was going on a journey, but she didn't know where. And I remember speaking to the hospice people who were so helpful. And they said to me, you know, that's not uncommon. People who are near the end of their life often feel they're going on a journey. But your mother is really quite specific. She kept asking me for the bus schedule to Ireland. Yeah, and in fact, she said to me, I want you to bring me up my good suitcase from the basement, the black one, and put it right here. So I said, okay, Mom, and I went to the basement and I got her case, brought it upstairs, and set it next to her chair. She didn't fill it, she didn't put anything in it, but I know that she felt better just having it nearby.
Hello, hi, my name is Denise Cadet. I am here with Breeda Miller, who is a caregiver champion. You know, I heard her this weekend talking and sharing her experience as a caregiver for her own family member that went through hospice. And what I realized is how well she was able to share the real experience that us nurses and hospice care providers try to communicate to the family, and many times we're not able to help them see how much they're needing that service.